So if your district has decided blended and hybrid learning, it's for them. There are some things, some steps to look at to getting the funds to make that happen. So the first is just create a plan. And in education, we are all experts in education. We are not experts with money. So I would highly recommend bringing in a consulting firm to help the district come up with what exactly that plan is going to be. So I did link just like the top 10 consulting firms in education, just to get an idea of like who's out there, who helps with this kind of stuff. So that way they can come in, they can crunch the numbers, they can help us figure out where inefficiencies are and really like make sure we're getting the most bang for our buck. Once that plan's done, I would look at reallocating funding. So there are things that a blended and hybrid model save a district a lot of money on. So if you need less funding for transportation, for example, is that able to be reallocated for more technology? Sometimes districts have like certain pots they can only pull from, but if there's any reallocating that can be done, any movement of funds where they're no longer needed to where they're needed, that would be the next step. Finally, from there, applying for grants. One thing to really consider with grants, though, is not only do you need them for the startup costs, but you also need them for the maintenance cost. So making sure that it's funding that can be acquired year after year after year to continue to support the technology and the schedule that's been put into place. I did link U.S. Department of Education grants as just like a starting point, but if you Google blended or hybrid learning grants, literally hundreds of them come up. Finally, and this is probably like the longest of the options, would be the technology levy, putting that on the table for the community to vote, whether it is just maintaining technology funds in order to keep things going and keep replacing outdated things, or whether it is maybe adding a little more to taxes so that the students can get what they need. That is probably like the last option I'd go to, just because it takes the longest, or I'd start it right after creating a plan, because I've been in a district that's taken 11 years to pass the tech levy, and I've also been in a district that passed it in the first year. However, I would say it's probably the most consistent for like long-term funds. So there's a less worry that maybe those funds don't exist the next year. So that is my advice for looking for funding for a blended or hybrid schedule.